You know, I knew your father.
I did too.
A great guy. You know, you have some real shoes that you've been filling, and he was a great guy. Not only the first to bring Sweetwater Clifton, one of my idols, into the NBA, and that was a very brave move, and I have to say brave. How have you been looking at it?
Well, it definitely had a huge influence on me. I was 5 years old at the time, and literally my first memories looking outside of our bedroom window in Yonkers, New York, seeing his image swinging from a tree with people under the tree picketing. And for several years after that, picking up the extension phone in our house with racial epithet after racial epithet being hurled at him. As a 5, 6, and 7-year-old boy, I didn't know what any of it meant, except that a lot of people didn't like my father, who for me was my best friend. And I would only learn later that it was because he had signed Sweetwater Clifton as the first player on the Knicks.
You served in Africa and other places dealing with racial equality. What drove you toward this?
My dad definitely had a big influence on me. I grew up as friends with then Lou Alcindor and a guy called Leroy Ellis, who were two young African-American lenses for me to view what racism was going on in the country, especially in the New York City area. Coming from an almost all-white city like Yonkers, having Leroy and Kareem as a prism really helped me focus on it. And I knew I wanted to do something on the issue of race and diversity in my lifetime. I didn't know how it would evolve. I didn't know what it would involve sports. But I was lucky enough that things came together, and I ended up founding the Sports Boycott of South Africa back in the 1970s and led the American boycott until the end of apartheid.
What does the Giant Step Awards mean?
Well, we started talking about using the power of sport to affect positive social change back in the 70s. And when we started, not many people were talking about that. But the Giant Steps Award winners are people from the world of sport who have had that use of the power of sport to impact their communities. Always moving stories, sometimes stories that the public doesn't know much about. But they're always, everybody leaves here feeling empowered that they can go out and do something themselves to make a difference because of the inspiration of the stories that we tell at these events.
You recently became on the board of Art Against Violence. How do you think this will help affect our community?
Well, I think any way we use sports, entertainment, and the arts, or a combination of them, to reach young people, to reach people in the community, we're going to have a better opportunity to get them to listen. And obviously, the subject of violence is something tormenting the community, not only in Orlando where we are now, but literally all over the country.
Some of the people that are going to be awarded tonight here.
I'm gonna really have to run.
Okay, can you speak about one of them for you?
Okay, so we are, instead of inducting a famous athlete as we normally do into our Hall of Fame, we're inducting the city of Orlando because of their response to the Pulse shooting. So we have Mayor Dyer and Barbara Poma, who's the owner of the Pulse nightclub, accepting the awards, and presenting the awards are Jason Collins, Rick Welts, and Billy Bean, 3 sports pioneers from the LGBT community, and Lonnie Ali, the wife of Muhammad Ali, because the rise in anti-Muslim feelings because the shooter was Muslim have spiked in Orlando. So we thought the combination of those 4 people would have a powerful way to talk about the Pulse shootings and the way particularly that Orlando responded as a united community.
I'd like to thank you for being here. And last is a piece of artwork that was donated in your name. It's a psychological frame in glass. What do you think about it?
I was very moved at your generosity, first of all, as well as the quality of it and the story that it symbolizes, and we're grateful for that gift. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Richard.